We're looking at 7 boats that still make sense for a budget solo sailor. First, the Beneteau Evasion 32 is a compact French pilot-house cruiser designed for comfort and protection rather than speed. Starting on deck, the pilot house immediately defines this boat. You get real shelter, not canvas, not wishful thinking. Visibility is good, and the cockpit feels secure, especially for cooler climates or long shoulder season sailing. Deck hardware is straightforward and typically reachable without gymnastics, which matters when you're alone. Moving inside, the pilot house changes how the boat feels. Light comes in from all directions, and the interior feels protected and calm, even when conditions outside aren't. The galley sits close to the companionway, which makes sense underway. It's practical, not flashy. Enough counter space to cook safely while braced. The saloon offers usable seating and partial standing headroom, depending on where you are. Forward, there's a simple berth and a functional head. Nothing excessive, but nothing wasted either. Under sail, the Evasion 32 tracks steadily. It's not trying to be lively. Motion is forgiving, especially in chop, and that reduces fatigue on longer days. Sail handling is modest, a conservative rig that rewards early reefing and doesn't punish mistakes. For maintenance, think typical production fiberglass. Pay attention to the deck-to-hull joint, pilot house seals, older canvas and through hulls. Engines are usually small diesels, easy to access, easy to live with. For a solo sailor who values shelter and predictability, this boat quietly makes sense. Then we have the Pearson 424. The Pearson 424 is a very different animal, heavier, wider, built for people who wanted to live aboard, and it shows. On deck, everything feels substantial. Wide side decks, big cockpit, and room to move slowly and deliberately. It's not a boat you rush around on, and that's a good thing when you're alone. Step below, and the Pearson opens up. The interior is genuinely spacious for its era. A full galley, large saloon, multiple berths, and serious storage. Lockers are everywhere, which matters if you're carrying tools, spares, and supplies for long stretches. The layout favors living, not weekend hopping. You can spread out, stay organized, and actually exist on board without constantly rearranging your life. Under sail, weight defines the experience. The Pearson doesn't leap forward, but it smooths out rough water beautifully. Momentum works in your favor. With roller furling and lines led aft, single-handing is absolutely possible, but docking requires planning. Maintenance is where reality sets in. Most examples are older and have seen multiple owners. Plumbing, wiring, tanks, and standing rigging often need updates. A proper survey isn't optional here, it's essential. For a solo sailor who wants space first, speed second, the Pearson 424 is still relevant. The Bayfield 32. The Bayfield 32 is a classic full-keel cruiser with a reputation for solidity and warmth. On deck, the long keel and cutter-style rig give the boat a composed stance. The cockpit is deep and secure, designed for safety over lounging. Everything feels intentionally placed for short-handed sailing. Inside, the Bayfield immediately feels traditional. Warm wood, compact spaces, and a sense that this boat was meant to look after you. The galley is small but usable. Berths are comfortable, and storage is cleverly tucked away. It's not a large interior, but it feels honest. Nothing rattles. Nothing feels flimsy. Under sail, the Bayfield 32 is directional and steady. It tracks beautifully once settled, which solo sailors appreciate. Tacking takes patience, and you won't be chasing performance numbers. But the boat rewards calm inputs and conservative sail plans. Maintenance centers around age and materials. Teak, canvas, and cosmetics need care. Keel attachments, chain plates, and rigging deserve close inspection. These boats age well if maintained, and poorly if neglected. For solo sailors who value tradition, safety, and simplicity, the Bayfield 32 remains a solid option. The Bayfield 36. The Bayfield 36 takes everything the 32 does and stretches it. On deck, the boat feels heavier and more deliberate. Side decks are wider, tankage is often larger, and cutter rigs are common. This is a boat built with longer horizons in mind. Inside, the difference is noticeable. More headroom, more storage, more separation between living spaces. The joinery quality remains strong, and the boat feels like it was built to last decades, because many of them have. Underway, the motion is gentle and predictable. The long keel dampens sudden movement, which reduces fatigue. Single-handing requires respect for sail size and timing, but the boat doesn't surprise you. Maintenance is similar to the 32, just scaled up. More systems, more canvas, more wood. That means more time, but also more comfort in return. For solo sailors stepping up into longer-term cruising, the Bayfield 36 is worth serious consideration. Now to a boat with a global reputation, the infamous Tayana 37. The Tayana 37 is widely regarded as a serious blue-water cruiser, and that reputation isn't accidental. On deck, everything feels purposeful. Strong tow rails, solid hardware, and a layout that prioritizes security. Handholds are everywhere, and the boat feels ready for bad weather even when it's calm. Below, the interior is practical rather than luxurious. Sea berths that actually work. Storage designed for heavy loads. The galley is built to function underway, not just at anchor. Under sail, the Tayana carries itself with confidence. It tracks well, balances easily, and feels comfortable in a seaway. For solo sailors, a good autopilot and roller furling are key, but once set up, the boat rewards patience and preparation. Maintenance focuses on structural details. Chain plates, deck penetrations, and any past repairs deserve scrutiny. These boats are tough, but neglect shows quickly. For solo sailors planning serious passages, the Tayana 37 remains one of the safest bets in its size range. This next boat doesn't need introduction. The Catalina 30 is everywhere, and that's its strength. On deck, systems are simple and accessible, nothing exotic, nothing mysterious. Docking, anchoring, and sail handling are all forgiving, which is perfect when you're learning or sailing alone. Inside, the layout is compact but logical. A workable galley, a convertible saloon, and a straightforward head. It's not luxurious, but it's easy to live with. Under sail, the Catalina 30 is predictable and balanced. It teaches good habits without punishing mistakes. Parts are plentiful, advice is everywhere, and repairs are usually affordable. Maintenance costs are generally lower, but common issues still matter. Soft decks, aging rigs, and model year quirks. The difference is that fixes are well documented and accessible. For a solo sailor on a tight budget, the Catalina 30 is often the most realistic entry point. Finally, the Alberg 30. The Alberg 30 is a full-keel classic with a long, proven sea record. On deck, the boat feels narrow and purposeful. Conservative sail plan, simple deck layout, nothing unnecessary. Below, the interior is basic but functional. Storage is built in, berths are secure, and systems are minimal. This is a boat that expects you to adapt to it, not the other way around. Under sail, the Alberg tracks like a freight train. Once settled, it just keeps going. Motion is predictable, and heavy weather manners are excellent. Single-handing works best with early reefing and disciplined sail management. Maintenance is about fundamentals: rigging, keel attachment, engine access, and aging systems. No frills means fewer surprises, but also fewer comforts. For solo sailors who value seaworthiness over convenience, the Alberg 30 still earns respect. Thanks for spending some time with me. I'm Franck. Let me know in the comments which of these boats you'd actually choose, or if there's another budget-friendly cruiser you think deserves a spot on this list. I read every comment, and your input really matters.